Hey guys, all right, so we are here today, still recovering from our illness, and we are trying the Revolution. Listen to my voice, you guys, like it's terrible. It's so terrible. I'm sorry you have to listen to this, but these things got to get done, okay? The Revolution IRL Filter Finish Soft Matte Concealer. I have it in the shade C3, which was not the lightest shade. I thought it was going to be good, but I opened it a minute ago, and I feel like it's still just going to be too light. Oh my goodness, look what just happened. That is from the cap, okay? This is what comes of you guys trying to make these weird doe foots. Like, stop trying to come out with this new and amazing whatever and just give us something that works. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Okay, so I got it all over my fingers now. I'll be right back. All right, and so here we are, before I was so rudely interrupted. I feel like it's gonna be too, oh no, it might be okay, too light. It might be a little bit too light, so we'll see. I usually try and get a shade, as I have said in the past many times, but for those of you who are new, I try to get a shade that is a little bit darker than my actual skin tone. I don't use concealer very much for on my face because thankfully, after years of having like a ton of acne and everything when I was growing up and into my 20s and 30s, finally I don't have that many blemishes that I cover. And even if I have a blemish like on my face, I usually honestly don't even put concealer on it. So always for my under eyes, so I usually just get one concealer that can serve to color correct and conceal at the same time. So here we go. Now I do have a full disclaimer. I'm sorry I talk too much, but I've got a bit of eczema under this eye. It's been there for months. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I did put a little bit of moisturizing extra emollient cream on it. Number one, to keep it soothed and hydrated so that it might heal. And number two, so that to prime it so that this or any makeup won't stick to it. But it doesn't always work perfectly, and so we're going to find out how well it does with this product. Now, I also have a review on the foundation for this, the IRL Longwear Foundation. So if you're interested in that, you can look that up. I will try to link it, but I'm not very good at it, so you'll forgive me if I can't get that done. And I am going to say this is too light to do what I need it to do. So it might make my under eyes look a little bit gray, which is what I'm always trying to avoid. I find that for me, a peachy shade such as this one from Hard Candy Sheer Envy Color Correct Cushion Wonder Concealer, this peachy shade is about the right shade. But I feel like this has actually oxidized a tiny bit, oranged up a little bit, so it might actually work better than I was expecting. All right, so this side of my face already has foundation. Well, I've got foundation on my face, but this eye already has a lot of foundation over it. I removed it from this area so we can get a kind of good representation of the coverage. So I feel like the coverage is average. I'm not like, oh wow, that's a lot of coverage. So I feel like this is sort of a moderate, medium, middle of the road kind of coverage. I'm gonna put a little bit more in this area where I need a little bit more coverage. But I almost feel like at this point, simply because of shade, that this is just too light. It's making my under eye too bright. It's making the undertone of it look a little bit gray. It is what it is. Not necessarily the concealer's fault, but because I ordered this online, which I have to do because they don't have it in stores where I live, that does make it a little bit tricky to get your correct shade. But I will say it doesn't look that bad. I'm trying to gauge, like this eye does seem a little bit more dewy, but it's probably because this is underneath, okay? It's very shiny, dewy. It's sort of like, it's like a thick version of a little bit thicker version of a Vaseline sort of texture. If you don't know what that cream is, I'll put it in the description if you guys are interested. This side seems a little bit more matte, and I think it does say it's, yeah, soft matte concealer. So it's supposed to be matte. This side seems more matte, but not real matte, not like crazy, you know, suck all the light out of a room, you know, that kind of matte. It seems like a soft matte, like they're saying. So I like the way this looks a little bit better than this, just simply because I don't like shiny under eyes. But sometimes it's good to have a little bit of dew in a concealer because it'll help it to keep it looking so cakey and also like drying out your under eyes maybe, especially at my age. So I'm gonna give this a solidly decent first impression. Let me powder it. I don't want to drag this out too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and powder it, and I will wear it for the rest of the day like I always do and see like how well it does. All right, I do like that better. Before I just move on, let me just take a look at like an up close. Can you guys see that? I think it looks nice. I think it's looking nice and natural. Now I've got a gigantic crease right here on my eye, and then this one's not as big, but this one is huge. And no matter what I do or what they tell you or anything, you're going to crease if you have a crease there. It just is what it is. We have to accept these things about ourselves and not expect our makeup to work a miracle for us. If you don't like the creases under your eyes, like, I don't know what to tell you. You can dye early. You can get plastic surgery, facelifts, under eye lifts, all that kind of stuff, but it is going to happen to you. So but I think that looks good. I mean, am I jumping up and down over it? No, but I do think it looks good. The last concealer that I kind of jumped up and down over a little bit was the Anastasia Beverly Hills, what's it called? Magic Touch Concealer. And I still do really like this one, but I want to give you some swatches while I'm talking, but I feel like I don't like the shade as much. So I'm probably not going to return it and get a different shade and all this and that. If I still want to use it, I'll just lighten it somehow. I'm mad about this packaging. It just dripped on my skirt, so. Okay, I'm just going to put out a couple of swatches of concealers that I like and use regularly. It hasn't changed much, honestly. There hasn't been a standout concealer really that has just changed the game for me and made me like want to die. Most of these are the ones that I just have been using for quite a while. All right, so this top one here is this one. This is the Revolution Pro Ultimate Coverage Crease Proof Concealer. It is not crease proof, but it is really good, very moisturizing, very high coverage. That's the shade that I work with, okay? Let's see, the next one down is the Kylie Skin Concealer. This is the original version in the shade Gypsum. Love it, have loved it for years. Next one down is the Morphe Fluidity Concealer. Still like this one. I know they closed down and all this and that. If you can get your hands on this, I suggest you pick it up if you can. It's really good. That's the shade we're working with. This was the one from today. You can see the difference in shades. Shades really do make a difference, especially for my under eyes. And then this last one here is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. The lighting in this video is just awful. I'm so sorry. So yeah. I'll put price and everything. Like, since this is sort of a drugstore concealer, it's going to be less money than any of these higher end ones. As we all know, this is pretty self-explanatory, or it's pretty common sense, but I think it's okay. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's okay. So if you're looking for a concealer such as this, soft matte, I don't think you'll hate it. Just be careful when you're opening it up, because apparently it's going to fall apart on you. So I don't know, I'm kind of meh on this one, and that's really all I've got to say. I will wear this for the rest of the day like I always do though, and I will update my thoughts in the description if it got worse, better, if I ended up liking it, trying it a couple more times, all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding my bell. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.